is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. This is going to be a Scent Safari episode, and the house we're going to look at today is the house of Angela Ciampagna. Now, this is a Scent Safari video. You guys know how these work. Sort of a first impression on 4 fragrances from a house. This is a house that I found out about just really looking through notes on Fragrantica. That's really how I find out about most new houses that I'm interested in, or just houses in general. This is an Italian niche house, and I hate to be biased, but for me, I feel like that's where most exciting niche perfumes are coming from these days. So many small Italian houses just making great fragrances at good price points. This was a house introduced in 2015. There are 9 scents in total as of filming this in the collection, 7 in the Hatria collection, and this year Angela released 2 in the Cenere collection. Now, as far as info about this brand, I'm going to read you something straight from the website. The productive soul of the brand is hidden in the artisanal workshop, placed in a tiny Italian village where parfums are manufactured after keen research, carried out with an artistic and creative mindset. The aim is the creation of absolute value perfumes so that fragrances can become the vehicle through which a seamless bond between research, artisanal practices, and accurate selection of raw material is brought to life. The collection was brought to life in a small family-run workshop located in central Italy. This location is the very core that defines the collection, the close contact with down-to-earth everyday routine and the din of the village, the sense of nature, the genuine and traditional touch of everything around are the elements that give the idea of contrast that is typical of the collection tradition. Sacredness, passions, and legacies are watched closely through pagan eyes in order to capture their essence. The formulas have some recognizable ingredient, like the layered echoes of the resins, woods, and the notes that recall molds, where majestic flowers and herbal notes conjured with an old-style touch reveal an ample, dark base. So that's sort of a little bit of where Angela feels like she's coming with these, and I'm going to link to the website where these are available to. That's where they're available as of now, Angela's website. As far as price goes, the Atria collection, you're looking at $110 for 50 ml, or you can double up to get 100 ml for around $175 US. They are eau de parfum, and then for the 100 ml and the fragrances from the Cenere collection, they're going to run you $265 for 100 ml, but they are extrait de parfum, and these bottles, guys, are gorgeous. You know, I showed some shots in the introduction, so please get a look at them. As far as what Angela sent me, guys, this is how every perfume house should operate when they send to reviewers or press. First of all, there was just a little clear plastic baggie with some information about the house, and then just little perfume strips so that you could spray the fragrances. Then each collection or each series came in these beautifully parsed boxes with tissue paper having the names of the fragrances and little cardboard boxes, so that was really cool. Then there were cards for each fragrance in this black cardboard folder. So each fragrance, actually, here's a shot actually of all the bottles of these guys, but each fragrance gets a card with the notes and the picture of the bottle. So I think that's really dope. And then the whole thing comes in a black bag with Angela's stamp or Angela's seal on it. So you really can't do packaging much better. It shows just an amazing attention to detail, which I so much appreciate. So guys, I picked out 4 fragrances to talk to you guys about. The first one, Liquo, is called Liquo. And the notes on Liquo are lavender, violet, lemon at the top, anise, licorice, straw, and coumarin in the base, and incense vetiver, in the middle, and incense vetiver and tonka in the base. And guys, this is an amazing licorice scent. Beautifully, to me, what this smells like is beautifully crafted high-end wood from like a wood shop. And you're going through that wood shop and you're looking around, just the best made furniture and just craftsmanship you can, and you're eating really high quality licorice candy while you're doing it. Woods and licorice done so well. Lavender is in there as well. Drop of lemon, but so well blended to me. This is for perfume fans who love licorice but don't want like an over exaggeration of like a now and later candy. This is dry, but you never struggle to identify licorice. You know, and that's what I love about this one. There's also a very dry vetiver here as well. Just a beautiful fragrance that's to me about licorice, lavender, lemon, vetiver, woods. If you've been a fan of this channel, you know my love of licorice perfumes. For me, it sort of started with Oud Black Candy by Mancera. Anise by Etro is one that I like. And then, of course, Black Vines by Kerosene for me was sort of the apex of the genre. But I think I like this one best. This is my favorite licorice fragrance. That pronounced but dry licorice with dry vetiver, woods, lemon, and lavender are the perfect accoutrements for a beautiful licorice note. So great job by Angela on this one. I don't think she could have done a licorice scent any better. I swoon over this one, honestly. The next one I want to talk to you about, guys, is called Rosarium. And the notes on Rosarium are honey, tobacco flower, and carrot seeds at the top, juniper berry, iris wood, violet, and celery seeds in the middle, musk, cedarwood, vanilla, vetiver, and incense in the base. Now, what this reminds me of off the top, the first time I smelled this, I said, oh my god, this reminds me of something, and it took me so long to try to figure that out. And there's a fragrance I reviewed that I loved, if you guys remember, called M Generation by a French jewelry house, actually called Malbousson. And I like that one a lot. This to me is a much better version of it. It's a niche interpretation of that. What I get out of this one is honey, incense, and iris. Blended beautifully and in perfect unison. This is one of those scents that becomes an amalgamation. The honey is super authentic here. You get a very nice and sweet incense. It's not liturgical and it's not super dry. It's a friendly incense, if you will. And then you get a beautifully creamy iris note. I'm not saying the cedar or celery or carrot seeds or juniper here don't exist. You might pick those notes up, but for me, this is a love letter to honey, iris, and incense. It's sweet, it's smoky, it's creamy, it's incredible, and there's nothing synthetic in these. These are so natural. And guys, these are such beautiful fragrances. I just can't tell you the quality of the materials in this one. The third one I want to talk to you guys about, and my faraway favorite, is called Nox, N-O-X. And notes on this one are bergamot, lily, ylang ylang, mimosa, and cyclamen. At the top is salt, pink pepper, artemisia, and hinoki wood. In the middle, base notes are cedar, patchouli, vanilla, and white musk. This is going to sound nuts to you guys, but I used to have, my grandmother used to live in a house in the suburbs of Massachusetts, and her back porch was a lawnmower and old jackets and just stuff like, like lawn cleaning stuff, WD-40 cans, old gasoline cans, all those sort of things. And I loved the smell of that back porch over time. It was an old house, and that's exactly what this smells like that to me. I don't know what you want to make of that, but I love that smell. And this to me is just a brilliant scent and one that I need a bottle of right away. This is one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled in my life. And I think you guys know that, like, I don't say that too often, especially on Scent Safari. I'm not willing to go out and say, oh, so-and-so fragrance is the best, one of the best. I always really try to hedge my bets when I do Scent Safari, because it's a first impression. But to me, my God, is this is one of maybe the best blended fragrance I've ever smelled. It reminds me a little bit of China White by Nasamato, only in that it's like, has a sweet narcotic floral vibe to it. I get white florals, hinoki wood, pink pepper, vanilla, and white musk. That's exactly what this is for me. Completely original. I've smelled nothing like this one before in my life, And I get really happy about this when it happens, where there's a fragrance that can just be so nostalgic and take you back to a time in your life, because that house has been sold. And Angela's fragrance reminds me of that time in my life, and that's when everything that I do, all the hard work that I do, I feel like in this hobby is so worth it for me. And I just love this one, and I want to thank Angela for making Knox. It's so beautiful. The last one I want to talk to you guys about is called Ignace, Ignes, and that's from the Chenares collection, or Cenares collection. And this one's from the more expensive collection of the Extrait de Parfum. And here you've got notes of tobacco, Peru balsam, Indonesian patchouli leaf, French labdanum, and woody notes. And you've got bourbon, vetiver, sandalwood, musk, and amber. Of the four, this is one is great as well. I'm not super. It's for me. It's just not super for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't love this one. For myself, I could see a lot of people really liking this one. It's tobacco, resins, and patchouli. Those are the three things I really get out of it. If you ask me to break it down, I'd go tobacco, resins, patchouli. Great quality. Uh, Again, materials are just through the roof here. Angela, wherever she's getting her stuff, she's getting it from the best of the best. I've smelled at this point fragrances that cost $5,000 a bottle, and Angela's fragrances in terms of notes are certainly right. Like, I've never smelled better materials, so no complaints there. Of the other three, those really spoke to me and just sort of captured my soul. This one is really good. I just don't know if it's something that I'm gaga about. I think it's a great tobacco and patchouli fragrance. If you like those notes, I'd give this one a look, but I think there's better in the collection. So, guys, I think what the takeaway I want you guys to just think about is, I want you to take a look at this house. I think you'll be really impressed by these, and I think you're going to be wearing stuff that no one else is wearing. I think that's great to start with. But the other thing, and when I was thinking today, and I was like, when I go through my day, when I make a video like this, I sort of think about, and I write a lot of stuff out, but I rarely write the outro, because I sort of want to make the outro spontaneous, and I want to really think of it as I go through the perfumes again. But I sort of think about what I might want to say, and I think what I might want to say here, or what I do want to say here, is that don't think just because Lucky Scent or Min or Twisted Lily or Aids de Venustis or any of these big retailers, don't think just because they don't have a scent or a line that it's not worth your time or hype. I think as a community, the entire YouTube fragrance community, we get so caught up on what's the next hype train, and what's big and what's everyone talking about. And I just think that that's nothing more than something we create. And more often than not, there's just these super high quality houses under the radar for good prices. And for the quality guys, these are great prices. It's just float under the radar. And this is another example of that. And these sort of little houses that are newer, they're going to be the next big thing. They're going to be sold at these locations one day. But just get out there and do some research. If there's a note you're interested in, take a look on, one of the websites, what houses make fragrances with that note. And if you've seen one you've never heard of before, and there's some small house, take a look and just explore, because if I hadn't done that, I never would have come across Angela's fragrances. And I really feel like I found a gem. And I know, I sort of searched on YouTube, and I know there was one video on Angela's fragrances, and I'm happy about that. But I think this is just a house that if the community embraced it, would be a huge hitter, and there's no reason it shouldn't be. These are as good as fragrances get. Angela is an amazing perfumer. The quality is A1, the presentation is A1, her press kit was unbelievable, and I don't think we should ignore houses like this. So don't feel like you have to only pay attention to a perfume or a house because it's sold at a certain place. Just pay attention to what you think you would like, and don't be afraid to investigate and do some research. and look for those under the radar houses, because more often than not, I think you're going to find some stuff that's really special. Right, sometimes it's not going to work out. I get that. Not everything that's sold out there is great, but I think if you pay attention and you read reviews and you really do research, you can find great houses like this all the time. And I'm so happy I found Angela's Fragrances, and I really implore you guys to take a look at these because they're awesome. Get a sample kit from her website. They're they're actually really reasonably priced. So guys, give them a go. I hope you've been enjoying this series. My goal is to bring you more houses that just don't get overlooked in the community. I know the next big things constantly get talked about, and that's fine. I'm not saying those aren't important. I know you guys want to know about those as well, but there's stuff floating under the radar for less money that you guys should be able to take a look at as well, and that's what I'm trying to do with Scent Safari. So guys, I'll see you next week with more videos. You already know what it is. My name is Maximilian, and I must know. Peace.
Every voice that is lifted, reverence.